Hello everybody, welcome back to another Halo CE modding tutorial, and today we're going to be talking about how to create custom cutscenes in Sapien, and then how to script them, and a bunch of other commands that have to do with scripting and cutscenes, you know, like fading in and stuff like that. And later, the second half of this is going to be talking about creating custom chapter titles that you can, play when you play your cutscene. And there's also a command to do with those, but most of the process is going to be outside of Sapien and outside of Gorilla. But yeah, let's get started. So to make a basic cutscene, all you need in Sapien are just a bunch of camera points, points that the camera will move to when you script it. So first, you place a camera point just like anything else, right click, but this is just going to be a placeholder because if we have something selected in Sapien and then we hit space, what that does is it clones that object to our current location. So basically, if we go right here with that camera point selected, go here, hit space, it cloned that right here. So now when we move to this point, when we script the cutscene to move to this point, it's going to be looking in the exact area we were when we cloned it. So you can make custom cutscenes and actually see what you're doing. When we get to this point, we will be looking right here. Space, do that. So yeah, whenever you clone something, just make sure what you want to clone is selected right here, and yeah, pretty easy. So we'll just go throughout the map here. And kind of just make a little, I guess, a little camera track through the whole map. Make things look cool and shit. And then we'll go all the way up here. And then we can go all the way back to the very first camera we put. And now I have to rename all these because we're going to have to specify each camera. But after you make your entire camera track, that's really all you need to do in Sapien for now. Okay, there we go. So now we have 10 camera positions that we can just, move to. Or use our cutscene with. Make a cutscene with? There we go. That made a little bit more sense. So yeah, now we will go throw together a script. Alright, so I'll go over how to, every time I do a tutorial to do with scripting, I'll just go over the basics of how to create a script for your level, just in case somebody's watching this for the first time. So, to create a script for a level in Halo 1, you go to your data folder, then it's basically a mirror of the tags folder. So you would go to your level in the data folder. So data, levels, mine is convo, and then in here, you want to create a scripts folder. Scripts folder like this. And then you want to create a scripts .text file or .txt file. Open that up. File, save as. Make sure you're in the same folder. Hit all files right there. HSC, rename it to HSC. Save that. And now we have a script.hsc file. So now we can, this is the actual script. Why the fuck does it do that? Hold on, let me reopen everything here. Okay. Alright. So, now we will script a basic cutscene. So, okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make a static script so that we can just call that entire thing in startup. So I'll end up naming that static script cut scene test. So now we have to actually make the static script. So if we go move that down, then we do script static cut scene test. The same name right here. So on startup, this script is going to be played, which is this one right here. So this is everything to do with the cutscene. So now we gotta just go over some basic lines of code, or I guess basic commands to make the cutscene do cutscene things. So the very first thing you want to do is a player camera control false. What that does is it makes the player unable to control the camera. So that's pretty straightforward. Then we have to do another one called camera control true. Now what this is referring to the script's control over the camera, not the player. So you want the script to be able to control where the camera is, because even if you set up everything correctly and you don't allow the script to control the camera, it's just going to stay at its one point where it starts, and then nothing else will happen. So this needs to be true in order for the camera to actually move from point to point. So with those two out of the way, we can also do a which one was it? Oh, there's a letterbox. I got it. I should have it open right now. Yeah, there's a letterbox command. Yeah, cinematic show a letterbox. So cinematic, and this basically just brings up the black bars to make it look like a cutscene even more. Cinematic show letterbox true. So all these three things are going to make it a cutscene. The player can't fuck with it. The script has control over it, so the camera can move on its own. And you're going to have some big black bars in there. And we can also do a fade in, and then you do 3 colors, and then you do the time it takes in text to fade in. So I believe 111 is white, so it would fade in from white. And that the entire fade in would take, I guess we'll do 180 ticks. So I think 6 seconds, because 30 ticks is 1 second. So that's like all the basic cutscene stuff before we even start moving from point to point. So now we need to actually set the camera 2 points. And the very first point you set, you don't have to worry about the camera taking time to move there, because it automatically just goes to the very first point regardless of anything you put in. So that command is camera set. Yeah, camera set. And then you type in the camera point, which are literally just these. So we'll set the first one to cam underscore 0. So it's set to the first cam. And then we have, after the camera point, we have the time it takes to transition to that camera. This is the very first camera, so it's going to be 0 anyway, so we'll just have 0. And now we basically have a little loop. Well, we're going to have a little. The rest of the script is just going to be the same commands over and over again. So then we'll do a sleep command. So what'll happen? It'll take control away from the player, give control to the script, spawn the big black bars, fade in from white at 180 ticks, set the camera position to cam 1 or cam 0, and then it's going to sleep for 120 ticks. And then after it sleeps for 120 ticks, now we can start moving it from camera to camera. So now we'll do cam 1, and then this is where we need to have our numbers move. We need to have our position numbers in. So we'll move to move to the position of cam 1 in 190 ticks. So this is the amount of time it's going to take to move from here to here. And now we'll let the snow plow go by. So now we will just spam this a whole bunch of times and do 2, 3, 4, go all the way up to 9. Okay, so now we have all the cameras here, and this is not gonna work actually, because even though we have this timer here, it's still gonna just execute all at once. So we're only gonna be having like 120 ticks of a cutscene here. and then it's just gonna like go straight down the list and then end the cutscene. Well, actually, the cutscene will never end because I don't have that scripted yet, but you get the point. So basically, we have to add a sleep in between each of these. Well, and you could also do another one is called a camera. You do sleep, camera, time, and that basically just is checking this time, and it's sleeping for that time. So it's gonna move. It's gonna be much more fluent. Or you could just do. I'll just do like 200. Have it be 10 more ticks than the time it takes to get there, just to have a little bit of. I guess have it sit there for a little bit. But that camera time will just match the time it's taking to move the camera. So every single one, it'll move there. It'll move there in 120 ticks or 190 ticks, and then while this is happening, it'll be sleeping for 200 ticks. So it's only going to be sleeping. It's only going to be staying still for like 10 ticks, because both of these are basically going on at the same time. So that's these two, these two, these two, these two, and then we're gonna go all the way back to camera 0 at the very end. So I'll like add a bunch of this. So we'll go up to like 360 or something, and then while that's doing that thing, we'll have sleep. We'll sleep for 380. Just add. Oh no, add 370. Just add 10 ticks to the actual sleep. So now it's just gonna go it's gonna basically go the same track I went when I put all the camera points. A bit more slowly and more cinematic, but it'll still get there. Alright, so now that we have all this set up, we just need to invert all of this. So we'll copy this down here. And this needs to be done in a, I guess, kind of a specific order if you want it to look good. The black bars should probably go away first. Then I think we'll just change that to false. Just invert everything. We want player control again, and we do not want this script to have control anymore. And then we'll fade in from white again. Because why not? And 000 would be black. So letters go away, or I get the big black bars go away. Then the player gets control. I think we'll have the bars go away. Then we'll sleep for like a second. And we'll have the fade happen right after this. So it's going to start fading at 180 ticks. Then the black bars are going to go away. It's going to sleep for 30 ticks. Then we get control, and the camera control is taken away from the script. So, yeah, it looks like a lot, but it's basically just the same commands over and over again. You know, we set up all this stuff, the intro to the cutscene. We set up all this stuff, the outro, and then the meat of the cutscene is literally just moving from camera to camera, and then making sure you have sleep commands so it doesn't just execute the entire command and end the cutscene very quickly. So, cutscene test. Now if we save, compile, we get a fucking error. I think I need to add void in there. Public static void. Yeah, you need to add void in there if you're not. Yeah, okay. So script static void, and then the name of your actual script, and then you can call that from pretty much anywhere you want. So now if we load this up in Halo Tag Test, this should work. It is gonna be a little janky. The cameras, you'll see. There's gonna be like a little shake to the camera at each point it goes to. But I haven't seen anything that like changes that. But yeah, name, levels, convo, And fades in, black bars. Camera point's way too low on the ground, but who gives a shit? I deleted the wrong point? Who cares? You get the point. And now it's just gonna move from point to point. Yeah, see that there? It shifted just a little bit at the very end. I'm not sure what does that. Maybe if I actually load it into MCC, that'll go away. Because Halo Tag Test is, you know, slightly different than an actual compiled map. But yeah, now we're just gonna move from point to point. And if you wanted to do like a shot reverse shot where it just snaps back and forth between two perspectives, you could literally just go back and forth in your script between those 2 points. Set the tick thing to 0, so it literally like in 1 tick it switches really fast, and then just have the sleep be as long as you need it, you know, if there's dialogue going on. And now we'll go all the way back here. We'll wait for 10 ticks, which is gonna fly by, and then the boom! That actually fucking worked out pretty well. That was that fade in or the fade out, whatever the hell it's called. The outro of the cutscene looked a lot better than I was expecting. But yeah, and now we're in. We have control again, and yeah. And yeah, okay. I'm not gonna go over like skipping cutscenes in this one. And there should be some skip cutscene static scripts in the globals script. Data in the global scripts there might be some skip cutscene stuff in here, maybe not. I think Halo 2. Oh, here. Cinematic skip starts. You could look through all that shit. This is a global script, so it's automatically applied to every single scenario. So you could literally just like copy this, put it in your own script, have it run on startup, and it would work. But I'm not going to cover that. So there we go. That's a basic cutscene, and yeah, you can do a lot more than just like tracks to the map like that. You can do like snap back and forth, snap to this position, that position, you know. Alright, so now we will talk about the chapter titles, which is a bit of a pain in the ass, kind of. So, to make a chapter title, you go to the chapter titles tab, hit new instance, select your scenario block. You can name it whatever you want. Chapter. Oh, pay attention. This name needs to. Whatever you name this title, or yeah, whatever you name the chapter title, you have to remember. Title. We'll name it title test, and none of this stuff matters at the moment. Actually, we'll go. These colors make everything 255 for the text color. Actually, you can just check the color right here. But now we'll just save this, get all out of there, get out of Sapien quick, and now we need to. Where the hell is? Why did I close that? So now we need to create a custom Unicode string list, which is really not hard. So again, you need to. This is like compiling just about anything else into a tag, like a sound file or shit like that. You need to go into your data folder, levels, convo, and then we'll make a strings folder here. This isn't necessary. What's going to happen though is it's going to mirror this directory you're creating in the data folder over to the tags folder when you compile the thing. So it's just better to stay organized. So again, you create a .txt file, and you can name this whatever you want. We'll name this strings, and we'll make this strings because I want to. And now, what we do in here, you just type your strings, and these will be available to be used in your chapter titles if you compile things correctly and save it correctly. You just have to do one little thing at the very end of your string. So we'll type test title string, So that's good. That's what's gonna show up in Halo. And then after that, we do 3 hashtags, and then you do all caps end dash string, 3 more hashtags, and then this will be the string right here. And then this is letting the computer know that's the end of the string. And then you can basically make as many strings as you want. It's just that every single one has to have an end string at the end. And it can't, I don't think it can be like this. I think it has to be on the next level down. So it has to be like this. And then, chapter test title. There we go. So that's how you do that. And now we need to, before we actually go to compile it, we need to save as, and then in the encoding right here for Unicode string lists, in order for those to compile properly, we need to do the UTF-16LE, this one right here, encoding that one. And then we'll just click that, save, replace that, and now this should be able to be compiled into a Unicode string list. And then we open up tool, what the hell is the thing? Tool, Unicode, strings, and then you type your directory to your folder strings, not the actual file, just the folder that contains the .txt file. So we start in data, levels, convo, and then strings. And that should be it. There we go, strings.txt, it found our file, and then it created 2 Unicode strings. So now we have all our strings. If we go into Gorilla, we can go open that tag and see our strings. And there's the scenario, we don't need that yet, so we'll go to open. Yeah, I've done this before, so I'm right at the directory. So yeah, I just copied the directory from the data folder to the tags folder. So tags, levels, convo, strings folder, and then we got our strings tag. So right here. And then as you can see, we have this, we got the 2 tags we made. Test title string and chapter test title. And now we need to do one more thing. We need to open up the scenario tag. So go find your scenario. Then you scroll down to where your cutscene titles are right here. Make sure you already created your block at this point. And then in the in-game help text, you hit the 3 buttons here. And then you go find your Unicode string text. And then this index will match the index of your strings. So if you remembered, when we looked at our string, when we look at this, it says 0 right here. So this index is 0, so when we display this cutscene title, it will display this string. If we were to do 1, here, it would display this string. So that's how that works. And yeah, I think these cutscene titles, they use there's a Unicode string list and then just a string list. I think the cutscene titles use Unicode string lists, and like picking up a weapon or entering a vehicle, those use just string lists. I think. I haven't looked into that too much, but cutscene titles use Unicode string lists. So everything's all saved up, and we don't need to be in Gorilla anymore. We will open Sapien, open our scenario, and when we go to our cutscene title, or chapter title, select our thing, and there's our thing. And now we can have the style. I don't think that updates. I'm not sure. Maybe this updates. You have to open and close Sapien, but I'll just leave it in plain. And then the justification, that's where it starts. So we can have it on the right, the left, the center. And the title, the text bounds on screen. I have no clue. I have absolutely no clue how these work. I think this is like top, left, bottom, right, maybe. But if we go crazy with some inputs here, 345, 34, 34th that, and oh, see, I have oh, okay, that's quite different than I usually get. I have absolutely no fucking clue how this works. And it seems like, I've looked at other, chapter titles that already exist on existing campaign levels, and they seem to not know how the fuck it works either. There's just like, it feels like random inputs in here. I don't know how this stuff works. I tried to look it up, I couldn't find anything. But clearly I did something right. I got it to move way up here. But right here should be fine. It's gonna be a little bit high on the black bars, but you know, whatever, man. Oh, and then you get your fade in time. We'll do 2:10 to fade in, how long it's up, and then it's fade out time. So now, if we want to play this, where's my notepad? Oh, did I close it? If we want to play this in our level, we go back to our script, and we need to add one more command. So we'll have this thing pop up. I guess right after this first sleep happens. So right as it starts to move to camera position 1. And that last thing is, hold on, what is it? I should have written that down. I wrote most of this down. Chapter, okay, that's pretty easy. All right. So the final command is cinematic set title. Cinematic set title. Oh, and then you have to define the title. So ours is title. I think you have to, actually, let's find out. Title test. So the name of it right here. So if we compile that, okay, compiled, and now we will load this up. And as soon as it starts moving to the other one, it should, there we go, it popped up. And this is Halo Tag Test, so it's a little bit cut off. But if we go into MCC and actually like compile the map and load it up, then that should resolve itself. And there we go, it faded away, it's up for 10 seconds, faded in for 1, faded out for 2. And then it's just the rest of the cutscene that we already saw. So there we go, I guess that's all the basic commands you need to start just fucking around with the cutscenes, custom chapter titles. The text bounds are a mystery to me. I have no clue. You can screw around with that, figure out what does what, but yeah. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. And that's cutscenes out of the way, so hopefully that helps. If you made it here, thank you for watching. If you watch any of my other stuff, thank you for watching that as well, and I'll see you in whatever I decide to do next time. So thank you for watching.